Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wizards Outlook. Uh, Overtime game tonight. Westbrook Gafford led the Wizards past the Pelicans 17, 115. Joined as always by Raymond Lyons, Cardell W. Jr., Wilson Sarpe Jr. Want you guys to get straight to it. Cardell, we'll start with you. Tonight, just your initial thoughts on the game, how it played out. Westbrook's night, Gafford defensively, you know.
It was Russell Westbrook tonight, man. This is exactly how we felt. We've been saying all along how he needs to play for the Wizards to win, where he has all-around dominance, but he limits the mistakes, he limits the turnovers. You know what I mean? So he don't give the team a chance to beat them, but they gotta try to stop him. That's the name of the game, man. You limit your mistakes, and if you dominate, you're gonna win way more times than not. He played beautifully in overtime. You just gotta give credit where it's due, man. Clutch threes, the layup, and then the game-winning free throws. And I like the fact he did a good job of recognizing that Bill was off. You know what I mean? Bill was still shooting, trying to stay aggressive. He recognized he was off, so he took his shots and he made them. It was funny what he said in the post game. He's like, he knew Bill was off, but Bill missed a lot of shots that he normally made. But he said tomorrow he need to hit that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny, man. But all the jokes, man. But he played flawless basketball, man, and that's the expectation I had for him, because that's the level of talent he has. And you saw it tonight. For them, like we keep saying, for them to make this playoff push, which they're doing right before our eyes, trying to get in this playoff, this play-in game spots or whatnot. Even if they get close enough to the 8th spot, try to get that too. He has to play like this consistently. Bill had, he put up numbers. He put up 36 and 4, but he didn't shoot well. And he had some bad turnovers late, one in regulation, one in overtime. He got to clean it up. Obviously, maybe, his hip still bothering him, but there's no excuses at this point. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuses, period. That's why the NBA stands for no boys allowed. You got to make the play. You know what I'm saying? He could have very well cost the team, with some of his late game decisions, in regulation overtime. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, he hit enough shots to keep the defense honest tonight. And, that's what he's supposed to do. He just got to get more efficient and get back to being Brad Beal. One thing I recognized that Stan Van actually did that got the Pelicans back in the game when the Wizards were up was if people notice, coming out of All-Star break, that the Wizards were shooting bad as hell from three, and they were losing a lot of games because of it. They were just focusing on still trying to hit threes. It was a switch where I think when Bill kind of got hurt and they obviously needed to score by committee, they started attacking the basketball. Mm-hmm. So that's what you've been seeing over the last few games. They've been scoring a lot of points in the paint. And they did that in the first half of this game where it looked like the Wizards kind of got control. They're gonna just pour it on the third, get this win. But Stan Van started packing the paint and started daring them to shoot, because the Wizards as a team haven't shot well from three all season. You know what I mean? So he played the percentages, and they almost won because of that. Scott Brooks has been saying it all year. They're actually getting shots and rhythm in the flow of the offense. They're just not hitting them. And like Scott Brooks said, they got to start hitting these shots, man. You know what I mean? Because the Pelicans have holes defensively with certain guys. That's why at the end of regulation, you saw a rookie in Najee Marshall. I'm going to touch on him later. He was in for Zion. And that should never happen when you're the franchise player. Zion got to sharpen up his own ball defense. It's just, it is what it is. And actually, he had a turnover and he fouled Russ that lost the game. You know what I mean? So that's something he got to get better at. But, all in all, they got to start hitting shots, because teams going to start just packing the paint. And as they start playing them teams in playoff mode, those teams can get in the paint and get back out the three. And it's going to be tough. They're going to take away everything from the Wizards. So Wizards got his shots from the outside to keep defenders honest, keep the defenses honest. What can you say about Daniel Gafford, man? Tommy Shepard need to extend him down. Like, I need to see an email saying he has been extended. His energy tonight, Russ did what Russ should do, for the player of his caliber. But Daniel Gafford's the reason why they won the game, man. He going up there with Zion with the trees, blocking Zion many times, not just once or twice, many times. And obviously, if you're on the Pelicans, if you see Zion get blocked, it's gonna put something in your head like maybe I should challenge this dude. Maybe I should hit this floater or stay on the outside. He played an excellent game, man. 18.7 rebounds, 4 blocks, 7 of 11, 26 minutes, man, off the bench, man. Yo, they better not let this kid go. If they let him go, it's just you know what, it is what it is. They don't they don't want it. I mean, you got one, dog. The same thing Wilson has been clowning me about because I've been like draft one of these for the last 2 years. Got one. Just keep them, man, please. Now you see the benefit of having one of these. You understand now. It makes the game so much easier, especially when you have dynamic guards like Russell Westbrook and Barry Beal. It's easy. They have to stay with him. He's a lob threat, and he protects the rim, and he rebounds, and he can show him pick and rolls and defend, and he can on the floor. Green coach, you ain't had one of these. You ain't never had one of these. Not in this era. I don't know when the last time they had one of these. With Chris Webber, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Oh, JaVale McGee. I give JaVale McGee probably the last one they had somebody similar to this with his athleticism. So that's it. But JaVale McGee wasn't mature yet. He wasn't what he is now. So, you know, Daniel Gafford's light years ahead that early in his career. So big, you know, you gotta give him props, man. Him and Russ, the reason why they won this game. For the Pelicans, Ingram, he's an all-star for a reason. I mean, he took it to Danny. He took Danny out the game quick. You know, like, you ain't ready, rookie. You got work to do. So, and he kept going. You know what I'm saying? They had to throw multiple defenders at him, and I thought he was about to win it. And late in the game and late regulation overtime, he's a special player, man. But you know, the Wizards got enough stops to so he didn't get another chance to win it. Westbrook, I felt like he thoroughly outplayed Ball and Bledsoe in the backcourt. That is weird because the Pelicans front court thoroughly dominated the Wizards front court if you take Gafford away, but the Wizards backcourt thoroughly dominated the Pelicans backcourt. It's weird. That's why I say Daniel Gafford was the X factor, because when you go to the bench, it was similar numbers, but Gafford was the one that had the biggest blow from the bench, and that's why they got the 2-point win. Zion got the better of Rui, but I felt like Rui, as the game went on, got some key defensive stops to contain Rui to contain Zion for them to pull out this win. That's mental toughness. That's sometimes it be like that. You getting torched, but the name of the game is to stay after and make the game winner play and get the game winner stop, and that's what he did. When he jumped the pass, I mean, I love the fact that he baited Ingram. You know what I'm saying? He let it look like it was easy to get in there. Then Ingram's like, I'm going right back because you should be able to bully him, because he been bullying him all day. Rui jumped the passing lane, and all Zion could do was hold him, pick up a silly foul, and Rui got the pass. So, it is what it is, man. Wizards bench outplayed the Pelicans bench. And, that was big. And, I want to give a shout out to Najee Marshall on the Pelicans, local product out of Eleanor Roosevelt, played for DC Premier. Always been a tough kid, always been talented. The fact that Stan Van we saw him in the G League bubble go to work for the Area Bayhawks. The fact that Stan Van is trusting him this quick speaks volumes. I mean, he was in the game late in the game and Ball wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And he's an undrafted rookie. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you how tough he is. I felt like he should have been drafted. I don't know. And that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But he's gonna make a lot of GMs in front offices pay for not drafting him, and like he did tonight. So shout out to him. Keep representing the area, and keep doing your thing.
Go ahead, Ray. Your thoughts on this one?
You want me to follow that?
I mean, you could try. I mean, that's why I'm passing it on to you, so I don't have to.
No, seriously, I like wins like this. A lot of things went wrong, and this was easily a game they could have lost, and there would have been a lot of things we could point to. And then, say they lost by 2, people could have been like, they did their best, they fought, one of those moral victory type things, but they turned it into a win for them. I think that kind of speaks to the growth of the team so far this season. They're relatively healthy at this point, and we know Bills could be possibly still dealing with the hip thing, but they got Gafford back, and we saw his impact tonight. Like Cardell said, he saved the game for them. The Pelicans, they had a little lead, like 5 points or so late in the game, but he got them key stops, challenges Zion at the rim. and it kind of breathed life back into them. And the Wizards fell down early, but they fought back. They cleaned up the turnovers in the first half, but then they couldn't keep the Pelicans off the free throw line. They sent them to the line, I think, 30 times a night. So and then they couldn't throw a rock in the ocean from three. So really all you got to do is your positives got to outweigh your mistakes, and that's what they did tonight. And Westbrook was phenomenal. When he has a game like this, it kind of covers for a lot of the other things that are happening that that go against you. So, and like this is just what we talk about, man. Like, imagine him having one of those 8 turnover nights, even with the numbers he put up. This is a loss.
Yep.
Plain and simple. So, he's kind of getting into his groove and getting back to his old self. So and then they had to deal with Ingram going off. So I mean, it's just a tough win, man. And like these are the kind of wins we really expect from them because they've shown they can do this. So it's nice to see them catching a rhythm, going down the stretch. They're right into the mix for the playing situation. Who knows, man? If they can continue this role and some teams ahead of them kind of falter, they could they could find themselves in the top 8 or whatever. But yeah, man, I like what I saw. Despite the despite the gaffes along the way in the game, they kept fighting. Then when they saw their chance to make a move, they did, and they ended up with the win. Overtime, I love Russ's aggression. That's what he's there for. That's the type of player he is. That's why they got him. He came out and really took this win for real. It's funny that like as horrible as they shot from 3, Bill he can earn a couple ill-advised shots, so to speak. Because I mean,
he leading the league in
leads the league in
scoring.
scoring, right? So I mean, I'll take that from him. But like I said before, they did enough to make up for it. Like typically, like Adele mentioned with the adjustment, and the Pelicans basically daring them to shoot threes. That kind of they came on that third quarter, they didn't have an answer for it. And the Pelicans jumped out in front, but then something clicked. I don't know if it was during the timeout that it was addressed but they at some point they said, all right, man, it's not working. Let's kind of get back to what got us in a good position. So yeah, man, I just think, it's been a long time coming, but the team just seems in a different space, not only on the floor, but mentally as well. Like we've seen a lot of times where in a game like this down the stretch, they just check out and continue to make the same mistakes and they give one away. But that didn't happen tonight. And man, it's good to be able to talk about them in this light. I'll just keep it at that. But nah, man, good win. And it's good to get a win like this on the front end of a back-to-back. Gives you a little more juice for tomorrow, even though you might come in and you might be a little tired. But coming off a win like this, you probably be amped up for to come out the following day.
Real quick. So this was a big win because the Bulls lost. So Toronto won. So right now the Wizards are tied with Toronto, and they're a half game back of Chicago for the 10th spot, which is the last play-in spot. That's why I was like, they still got a shot at the playoffs early. They just get on the road. So they can be tired all they want. They can't afford to lose. Like, keep winning. You know what I'm saying? Because the Cavs only 2 games behind them. So I'm not sure if they can catch the Pacers. There's only about 18 games left, and Pacers are about 4 games. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if they can catch that night spot unless the Pacers just completely fall off the map. But they're in the dogfight with the Bulls and the Raptors, man. So they cannot win. They cannot lose tomorrow. Like that pretty much erases tonight. So they win tomorrow. That'd be huge. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they got some heavyweights coming to town. You know what I'm saying? Some killers. Like the Warriors. Steph can beat them by themselves if they ain't careful. So pile up these wins early.
Nah, like just to piggyback off what you guys said, we've been talking about how important them being consistent is. You need to get both of these. You got the front end back to back. You need to get tomorrow. Detroit's not a cakewalk because they just play incredibly hard. That said, you need to get tomorrow. Again, reiterate, you need to get tomorrow. And with the Bulls, being close to the Bulls, Zach LaVine's out right now because of COVID protocols.
Mm.
So again, if you want to talk about things kind of lining up in your favor, it behooves you to take care of business right now.
Hell yeah.
If people aren't aware, Zach LaVine not being on the floor for the Bulls is a pretty big freaking deal. It kind of really matters. But now for just with tonight's game, couple things I had. I thought this was another good game for Russ. I know it had 4 turnovers. I wasn't tripping too much off him. Late felt like he was under control. And that's like my biggest thing. It's really not so much always about the numbers. Obviously, when the numbers get up there, you get to 6, 7, and 8. The control thing doesn't matter to me. That's reckless. But the 4 I wasn't tripping off. I was more bothered by Brad's turnovers tonight than Russ. Russ was in control. Things happened. Brad, he was on one. Give him mulligan. As far as some of the ill-advised shots, like you said, Ray, leading the league and scoring, that's cool. And that's fine. I give him mulligan for the ill-advised shots. You got to be more decisive. You drive a baseline. It's not there. You don't have to pick up your dribble. You don't have to force up a crazy pass. Some of the things that he had, they were unforced. I know the Pelicans did do a good job, like Cardell said, packing the paint, but no one told you had to pick up your dribble and stop. Like, again, if they're packing the paint, you drive baseline and stop. You think they about to let you back out? They already packing it in. And like you said, Russ in the glass, but again, Gafford. He was able to take he was the nuclear deterrent tonight. Because if you take him away, he wasn't available for this game. All that stuff would happen. Zion ain't going 9 for 18. That's like 15 and 19 for 30 something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we got a highlight coming tonight from DJ Michi. We got a good one coming.
Because every time that he went down there, like, and that was the thing. Like, and I give Brooks some credit, but at the same time, I was kind of like, what else would you do? Am I going to take the dude out who's challenging that man up there? No. I don't care how tired you are, boy. You like 21. Figure it out.
Hell yeah. I don't care. You good. You
ain't even start. So you get at least the first 6 minutes from all the breathe. Get yourself together.
Better drink a Red Bull tonight.
Man. But he changed the game with that because, like Cardell said, if Zion, if the bully can't get the bullying on, man, ain't nobody else trying. I love B.I. B.I. ain't about to go down there he tried to dunk on that man one time. We saw how that ended up. After that, he went right back to the array of floaters and mid-range jumpers like, I'm good. Me and my freaky wingspan, we're going to sit out here and shoot over people that aren't as tall and as long and as athletic as you. I'm good off that. And his activity, Steven Adams wasn't even as annoying just because Gafford's activity down there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple times, it's one thing to go up and contest Zion. It's another thing, get right back up to go make sure, Adams gets the board on the other side. You got two big bullies down there, and he was a nuclear deterrent tonight. And there's not a price you could put on that. Cardell, I know what you said about extending him, man. Like, it's not even funny. Like, lock him and TB, they need that. Figure it out now, man. Like, at least lock that down.
You hear me?
And then you can figure out the rest later. But that right there.
You hear me? You feel me? Him and Thomas Brown, when he get back, you feel me? They good.
Just two bounce.
They finally got some athleticism, dog.
And again, this doesn't, and even best case scenario, this shouldn't stop you from getting another one. Honestly, like, it's fine. Like, it shouldn't. It just shouldn't. But again, you saw why I think for the most part, all three of us were so happy and excited about the Gafford trade because of what it brings. Because they haven't had. The only time they get a look at things like that in the NBA is when they're on the other team. Yeah. They don't wear Washington jerseys.
Gafford did it to them early in the season.
Yeah. He came off the bench for the Bulls, bullied them, and then got in foul trouble. But the minutes that he was in changed the game. Changed the entire game. Nobody was going down there having any fun or whatever. Another thing I love, how hard he runs the floor. The times when you blocking the shot and still beating folks down court. Time you contest the jumper after switching. You flying down court. That's easy looks for your guards. Like again, just being young and active. Just having, and this is why like not even because of Cardell stuff, but it's like his reaction when they had an opportunity. And again, the player, we're not gonna keep bringing up his name, but he was here, pre-draft visit and everything. He was here.
Robert Williams.
Yeah, you had it. He was here. Had an up close and personal looking.
Yeah, they got one for him, Mitchell Robinson. You see what I'm saying? You need one of those, though. If you don't have one, it's like in the WNBA. If you don't have a 6'4" do-it-all big, you fool. It don't matter. So
That's go ahead. And like that's the thing. They don't have to be perfect, but you need one. At any stage, you need one. You need them. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. It's just about being consistent. Does it like I'm cool with winning ugly or whatever. I was just most impressed by the fact that they had to get the win tonight pretty much by getting stops because they weren't hitting nothing outside of Russ. Outside of Russ and Gafford, nobody was saying anything. So they had to get stops. And again, most of that happened with that young man, at the 5. Did you guys have anything else you want to add to tonight's game?
A big game to keep an eye on. May 6th, 7:30, Wizards versus Raptors. That's going to be an interesting one because that might be the game that determines what's going to happen. Who's going to be in the play-in and who not? Yeah, so there's going to be a lot. So because after that, the season ends the 16th. So yeah, it's going to be a wrap.
So again, how they finish out this next few weeks is pivotal. It's extremely pivotal. But we're gonna get to some of these comments. As always, just as a reminder, you get us on social, at the Focus TV, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even during the show. You feel free to comment on Twitter, Facebook, or even Instagram. If you comment on Twitter or Facebook, I could put it up on the screen for us to all read it live. Or you can, right now we got a good group of folks over on YouTube commenting, going crazy in the comments. And we appreciate you guys for that. So we're gonna take a couple of your comments and go through them. Man, here's the first one from Tycho. Turnovers have been the issues or injuries. Y'all boys just talk the talk. They're finally all healthy. That's why they're winning. All right, I'm gonna get to that in a second. From Chef's World, it's both. Oh my God, who knew that two things can occur at the same time? Not mutually exclusive. It's really wild, but shout out to Chef's World. You sound like a seasoned human being. Rustin had plenty 8 turnover games. I don't give a who you are. That ish ain't winning games. And obviously, if your main guys on the team ain't healthy, ish can go south. I feel like Chef's World kind of responded for me. And again, for y'all to kind of get the injuries or the turnovers and miss the and in that was connecting them, comprehension is important. And we all got room to grow. But yeah, it could be multiple things at one time. Just like they have been healthy at times. That doesn't mean that every time they were healthy they won, or that the turnovers were down. Multiple variables could be a reason. But go ahead, Cardell, right?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, like you said, Wilson, it's not an either or thing. I think they kind of have a correlation. If you have multiple injuries, that means you can't have that a lot of turnovers because your margin of error is that much slimmer. So, yeah, it's possible to win games when you're injured, but you just have to play that much better. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents, man. Like, just like Wilson said, when they've been fully healthy and they haven't played well and turned the ball over, they lost. So I mean, I don't think one of those things has to be absent for the other to be true. But I guess we just talking the talk, like they said.
For me, first of all, learn how to spell winning. That's one, and then 2. Injuries are part of the game. You think they're the only team that's been dealing with injuries? I mean, but other teams still find a way because they don't beat themselves. That's what turnovers are. You're beating yourself. You're giving the team extra possessions to score on you, which they eventually will do. Like Raymond said, if you're undermanned, you keep giving them extra possessions, fatigue will set in. Eventually, they're going to start scoring at a consistent rate. It's just common sense. So how are we just talking to talk because we not letting excuses fly for why the Wizards are where they are in the standings? It don't fly. They not making excuses either. Scott Brooks, Brad Beal, Russ, they've been saying it all season. Even with Russ, who's still trying to get better with his squad and all that. No, it ain't no excuse. We gotta find a way to win. No excuses. No excuses. So who are we to sit up here and try to make excuses for them? All right, on you, Wilson.
On to the next one. This is Psycho responding. Maybe if the team was healthy, they could build some chemistry, which could cut down some of these turnovers. Home in the video said turnovers have been a problem for this team all season, which is stupid because it's clear them not being healthy on the court together and the lack of an athletic big all season. I'm not saying turnovers are okay, but it's just not the real problem of this team all season. Stop trying to blame Russ. Y'all need to bow down to the God. That's the word. That's all, yeah. Yeah, this all, y'all.
What?
Let me know when y'all done, though. And I'll switch the next clip.
Y'all wild out here, man. Well, let's see, man. We're gonna go there. Okay. Let's look at some facts. So I'm looking at the entire league and who averages, the most turnovers. Right now, the Washington Wizards sit at 8th. They average 14.8 turnovers a game. The league leader, ironically, is the Lakers, 15.6. And you can also throw in the fact that AD and LeBron ain't been there for pretty much 4, 8, even more longer than that, a month and a half, 2 months. So yeah, you see what happens when you don't have your best players on the floor when things happen. But the ironic thing with the Wizards is the best players have been on the floor, and they're still high turnover rate. You're 8th in the league in turnovers, bro. Like, what are you talking about? That we saying that turnovers have been a problem and it's stupid. It's clear them not being healthy. Like, it's just not them being healthy. Like, what are y'all watching, man? I mean, I don't get it. And who cares? At the end of the day, they still NBA players, right? That means they played a lot of basketball, high level basketball to get to this stage. They know if you turn the ball over, it's hard to win. I'm pretty sure they do. I really hope they do. I can't imagine they wouldn't know that. So why are you dismissing the turnovers issue to focus on the health when every team in the league deals with health issues at one point or another? It makes no sense. Like I said, you're just trying to find excuses to cover up because you don't like the criticism that we're giving, but those are factual criticism. It's just constructive criticism. That's what we're saying. If they weren't turning the ball over, we wouldn't talk about the turnovers. It's just common sense. Y'all just need to get over it. And my man, don't call another man God, man. You tripping, man. You gonna get a visit. You gonna get a talking to from the real God if you don't calm down. So that's all I gotta say, man. Y'all tripping, man. Y'all calling this man God, man. But we're in a weird time. We're in a weird time, man. I'm up to that.
You have anything to follow, Ray? I'm just here.
Look, man, this thing is not graded on the curve just because people are hurt. I mean, the turnovers still count for turnovers, man. It is what it is. Like Cardell said, if they weren't doing it, we wouldn't be talking about it. We can only talk about what's happening on the floor. So, I mean, if you're upset at us for talking about turnovers, then you should be upset at them for turning the ball over. But yeah, man, it's
my fault. 23rd in the league. My bad, bro. 23rd in the league in turnovers. You average 14.8, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't think this is worth addressing any longer, man. Like,
all right, we're gonna move on. From your Love Angel 31, it really annoys me that people don't take into consideration how much COVID-19 affected them in that quad injury Russ had. All right, so I'm gonna say it one time and one time only. COVID-19 has affected each and every freaking team in the league, each and every athlete that's continued to play during this pandemic. Each and every person that's not playing professional sports has been impacted by this horrible, horrible virus in some shape, fashion, or form, some more than you know. So I will simply say, in a year where that applies to everyone, irrelevant. I'm gonna throwing this out the court. Hold on, I don't think. Here we go. Hear that? There's my gavel. We threw that out. Nah, it's affected everybody. Jason Tatum was just saying the other day, man ain't used an inhaler in his life. He has to use an inhaler before and after games now. And he's just the first one who said something out loud.
Wilson, didn't you just mention early in the show that the best player for the Chicago Bulls is out because of that?
I believe it is COVID-19 protocols. Yes, that is why Zach LaVine is
out. And they're trying to hold on to their play-in playoff spot as well. When the Wizards are, so do they get an excuse?
Sir, they even moved to acquire more players at the trade deadline to accompany said player who is missing right now due to COVID-19 protocols.
Oh, and for y'all that may not know, the Toronto Raptors have been playing in Miami this year. No, my bad. They've been playing in Florida. I forget where they're playing in Florida.
Tampa, yeah, they're in Tampa.
Yeah. They moved to Florida to play the Toronto Raptors. They ain't seen their house or crib wherever they living at in Toronto all season. That's where they're playing around. So I want to hear this COVID-19. That's what COVID-19 did for them. They got to stay. They got to stay basically halfway south of the country. Like, come on, man. Like
for the entire 72-game season.
Talk about fair. And then they tried to trade Kyle Lowry, and then it didn't work out. So now he's got to play for an organization that tried to trade him. He's done all types of work for, won a championship with, and then just so have we got playing Tampa. So y'all want us to really give the Wizards a pass for getting hit with COVID-19 like other teams ain't had to deal with. Come on, man. Y'all, boy. Y'all gonna, boy, I'm trying to watch the custom bag, man. You know.
Go on to the next one. Here's Cap. And it is also kind of fun watching you guys try to police each other and diverse. But I'm also happy this is the last comment I have to read tonight. Plug Cap. Nah, G, this ain't it. Bill's an amazing player. Rui's a beast. Neto plays unselfish, and the whole team plays to win. You're making Russ look bad to other people because you make it seem like he's all that matters. Russ is a team player and a leader. He wouldn't even want the other guys to be excluded from the spotlight if you support Russ and you support the Wizards too. The irrational response to this, hold on, let me move the banner from the bottom. Bill's a great scorer. That's all I see him doing is scoring. That's cool, but he could be doing a lot more than that. He's still trying to prove himself as a star in the league. He worried about scoring titles and a playoff push, so that tells you he ain't where he needs to be mentally. As far as focused on winning, he's still trying to show he's a great player. He's not completely on winning yet.
Brad Beal's averaging, we know he's averaging 31 points a game, right? He's averaging 4.8 assists, 4.8 rebounds, and 1.2 steals a game. Scoring is all he's doing. Don't you realize averaging 5 boards and 5 assists for a shooting guard, especially the league leader in scoring, that's elite? That's all you see is him just scoring? Shout out to the guy for making sense, man. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Ray, the floor is yours, sir.
He said still trying to prove himself as a star in the league. He leads the league in scoring, was an all-star, case closed. But then he ain't where he needs to be mentally as far as focused on winning. Still trying to show he's a great player. Has he talked to Brad Beal or something? Because he's
guaranteed it's never
these
happened.
sound like some pretty personal thoughts here that could only come directly from a player. So it's either one or two ways. He's talked to him, and this is what Brad Beal told him, or he's just making up nonsense. I'm gonna go with the latter. It's obvious he cares about winning because, during the times they were struggling, his frustration was visible, and it was evident in post-game pressers. So I don't think anybody could question Bradley Beal's desire to win and compete.
And he's playing hurt with a damaged nerve, where other people are sitting out for like sprained fingers and hangnails and shit. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, y'all need prayer. That's all, man. Y'all need prayer.
I got nerve damage in the hip.
And these fools calling off from work for dumb stuff, man.
Look, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's always a joy. the YouTube commentators. Truly appreciate y'all. I look forward to seeing whatever it is that you guys will share tomorrow. Again, great night from Russ, great night from Gafford. Washington, took a little while, took an extra period, but they got a much needed win. And the biggest thing to leave you with is they need to make sure they capitalize on this back to back and this homestand right here, get as many wins as they can. Again, some of the teams that are around them are missing people. Again, this is something it's happened. This is things that didn't work in Washington's favor early in the season. There was a time when they were really shorthanded, right? So again, it's not an excuse. Just being transparent, being honest. You need to take advantage of those opportunities because as of right now, you're the team that's a little bit more healthy than some of these teams that are going through some of the stuff you went through earlier. You just went through it earlier this year, in spades, mind you, but earlier this year, almost every team said it had these bumps where people aren't available. Go ahead, Cardell.
Before you go, what do y'all think about the job Scott Brooks is doing now?
I mean, I'm in the same place I was before. Like this year, I'm not really mad at any coach in any sport this year. It's hard for me to get mad at anyone. Like, it can't be fun. This can't be fun. Like, people legit can't practice, which means you can't really improve upon things outside of film. And it's alive. We're going to pretend that every professional athlete can look it on film and magically apply it without a walkthrough or reps or you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man.
That's you basically proving my point. Yeah. Like how good of a coach he is. Because this could be over. They're still playing hard. This could be over. Like we could be talking about, all right, who you think they need to draft some. We could be having that conversation right now, but we're still talking about them fighting to get in the playoffs. That's huge, man. So, all the criticism he was taking early in the year, that's why I was like, y'all need to chill. And it's funny, you don't hear the praise now. That it's not too many people talking right now, which is typically the case. I just wanted to throw that out there. I know some of them are watching.
Nah, man. Well, again, I look forward to the comment sections tomorrow. But thank God, DC United tomorrow. So take a mini break. But Cardell, Ray, myself, we'll be back tomorrow night. It's the Pistons. I believe, I got that right. It's Pistons Wizards tomorrow for the second part of this back-to-back. We saw Beal on the court still shooting afterwards, trying to figure out, I'm sure for him, what the heck went wrong going 0 for 9 from 3. So I'm sure, Pistons, he'll probably try to get himself recalibrated so it doesn't look like that again. But still, the man had 30. Russ had a good game. I'm looking forward to another good game from Russ in control and Gafford, what he can bring more minutes. It was fun seeing him for extended minutes tonight. So
give him the bag, Shep. Let's go.
You pay him early, it'll save you later.
Thank you.
Hey, just trying to help out a little bit, man. Y'all have a great night. We will see y'all tomorrow.